What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into another post-series episode of Phillies Baseball with me, JJ. My name is Jason Joseph. First of all, if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell icon as well, so that way you know when I either upload or whenever I go live for a Phillies play-by-play cast or for a podcast as well. Also, if you want to come on and if you want to join the conversation, whether it's today or whether we do any type of a cast for the Sixers, a podcast for the Sixers or for the Flyers or for the Patriots, make sure that you join the Discord server. The link is pinned at the very top of the live chat, and you can come on. I'll get you on, and you can give your thoughts about the Phillies or the Sixers or whatever. And I'd love to have you guys come on. So with that being said, let's talk about the Phillies, because I actually am really proud of how this team has been able to bounce back. It did not start pretty whatsoever. This team gave up 10 runs in the first game. Christopher Morel's hitting home runs. Nico Hoerner's getting doubles. Everybody's getting on for the Chicago Cubs, and the Phillies just could not stop the bleeding. Ranger Suarez was a shell of himself. He's still trying to get back into the swing of things. But with that being said, on Saturday, they come in with a different approach. It's a sold-out crowd still. And Kyle Schwarber comes up in the bottom of the first inning. And I really believe that grand slam to me was something that was really significant, because I really do believe that is going to help the team go on a run. If you guys remember last year at the very end of September, right, Kyle Schwarber hit a big home run in Game 2 of that doubleheader against the Washington Nationals. This team was sliding in the wild card standings, and that home run kept them afloat, because from that point on, the Phillies actually scored like 11 runs in that game, and they went on a little winning streak because of that. Now, of course, they did get swept by Chicago at the time, to end September, but then they won that big game on the very first day of October, and they clinched that game, and also Schwarber homered in that game too. And Aaron Nola pitched a gem, which I think is really funny. But my point being is that I really do believe that grand slam that Kyle Schwarber hit was such a momentum boost that not only did the offense actually get things going, and Cody Clemens hit a home run right after him not too long ago, but I just feel like that home run was just so important to what this offense needed. This team left so many people with runners in scoring position. They could not get guys home. They were putting up really good at-bats, but they just couldn't finish the job. And they left over 40 men. Well, it was actually 35 men and runners with scoring position. They were like 2 for their last 35. And it just got so bad. And Kyle Schwarber's swing was, I really feel like, a big momentum changer. And this team is going to start going into the right direction because of that. So I was really proud of what he was able to put together and how the offense just came together on Saturday afternoon's game. And hopefully this can just continue. Bryce Harper looks really good at the plate. Alec Boehm, I think, is putting up better at-bats. Bryson Stott's been playing really well. He's starting to get hot. As of right now, he had a big home run in today's game. I don't know, there's just something about this team right now. They either go on a very good streak or they go on a really bad streak. But I really feel optimistic as we head into the Arizona series that this team can continue to play really well. We'll get to Arizona in a little bit, but I want to go back to the pitching, because I also forgot to mention that Aaron Nola was sensational on Saturday. He went 7 innings. He did allow the 2-run homer to Dansby Swanson, but he had double-digit strikeouts, and he looked like the old Aaron Nola. The pitches were located perfectly. The four-seam fastball was not at 91. It was not at 89. It was at 93, 94 miles per hour. And with the way that he located the slider, he got a couple of lucky calls. I mean, I can't deny that either on some pitches, but that's how it goes in baseball. You either get the calls or you don't. But I just really thought that overall, he looked like he was in command. He looked like an ace out there. And we've been missing that from Aaron Nola. We said that when it comes to the starting rotation, that Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola have to be the 1-2 punch if the starting rotation can go really deep. And because they haven't been going so deep, that's been taking a big toll on the bullpen, and that's why you see Cody Clemens coming out there in the 9th inning to just finish the job, because the Phillies just haven't been able to get a whole lot of rest. So, even though I'm not really the biggest fan of putting in a position player, and I think that it has to stop, I can understand the philosophy behind it, and I also understand that the bullpen has really been giving you a lot of innings, and the starting pitching hasn't been going so deep. But the bottom line is that Aaron Nola looked really good, and Taijuan Walker today did everything that he possibly could. He went toe-to-toe with Justin Steele. This guy has been Cy Young worthy to this point of the season. I know it's still early on. We're not even like halfway, well, we are about halfway through the first half. But Steele's been really good for the Cubs. And Taijuan Walker was coming off of only 4 days of rest. 3 days of rest. 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 3 days of rest. And he throws you a shutout in 5 1/3 of an inning. Much needed. And he deserves a standing ovation for what he was able to do today. The crowd was booing on Friday. They were booing at Trey Turner. And they were even booing at Kyle Schwarber. And then as soon as Kyle hit the grand slam, when Kyle came back to the field, they gave him a standing ovation. And that is Philly in a nutshell. They're going to boo you when things aren't going so well. And when things are going really well and you do your job, they're going to cheer you and they're going to root for you because they want you to succeed. So I'm very happy with Taijuan Walker. I also thought that overall, Rob Thomson today, in today's specific game, he actually outcoached or outmanaged David Ross. And what I mean by that is, you look at the pinch hitting and the pinch running and the substitutions that he made and the buttons that he pressed, it looked like it was 2022 Rob Thomson. Bryson Stott came in the pinch hit, and he came in at the right time, and he hit that 2-run home run. Great matchup, great at-bat, good spot to put him in. Boom, you're up 2-0 in the bottom of the 7th. And then he puts in Brandon Marsh, and I know that a lot of people are probably going to sweep this under the rug, but Brandon Marsh comes in the bottom of the 8th inning, and he comes in the pinch run, and he got a stolen base. And I know that they weren't able to capitalize, but with that, you know, he comes in for Kyle Schwarber. He gave them a chance. All you needed was just a base hit and not necessarily a double, you know? So, I thought that he did the right thing. Craig Kimbrell was a little bit shaky today. Got the first 2 outs and then finally was able to get the final out after giving up a home run and a walk. But I think overall he's been sensational. I couldn't have asked for anything better. As soon as Jose Alvarado goes down, who's been the best reliever in baseball, this dude steps in and, turns back the clock into 2010, his rookie season of Craig Kimbrell. And I hated facing him his rookie season because he was on the freaking Braves. But that's what he's pitching like overall. The fastball's just gone up. The mechanics look really good. It's been working. So overall, before I open this up to you guys, just my overall assessment on this team when it comes to just the series. Now you got to go on a run here. You started to change the way that you've been playing. You're finding a little bit of a rhythm. The offense didn't do a lot today, but the pitching kept you involved and did everything that they possibly could. They were outstanding today. Now you have to go and facing Arizona. with a new mindset. But continue to keep the hot streak going. This Arizona team's not a joke. They've been playing really good baseball. Christian Walker has been hitting the ball really well. Corbin Carroll is legit. Zach Gallen's been throwing really well. They have some really good pieces. So you can't just sleepwalk on them. You need to go out there, put up good at-bats, be patient at the plate. When you're on the mound, keep the ball down and get the fans to rally behind you. That's what I'm going to be looking for when it comes to this series. Last thing I want to say before I open this up to you guys, we do have to talk about this. Bryce Harper, Rob Thomson said the other day, it was actually on Saturday, that Bryce will eventually be playing first base, but it's probably going to start June 1st. I don't know how I feel about it. I think that there's pros and cons to it. When I look at the pros, I said to myself, well, Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos are in the outfield a lot more now, so they can be getting a little bit of rest, and maybe you can put somebody else out there, like Dalton Guthrie or somebody like that. You know, Alec Bohm could DH for a day, or if JT needs a day off, you know, he could be doing that. So I look at that as a plus, but on the minus side, like I know that Bryce like wants to contribute and help this team win. I just hope it's not too soon, because the last thing that we need is another injured Bryce Harper. He needs to be taking his time, and if he feels ready, that's when I want him to go over to first base, if he feels ready and when he feels ready. And I trust Rob Thomson's going to do that. But that is my concern. I'm still nervous about it. But we'll wait and see what happens as the days come closer. Jose Alvarado's starting to throw again. I think that's a really good sign. He threw from 75 feet this weekend, so he's making progress. Thank goodness that he didn't have to get any sort of surgery, because I think all of us were very concerned about that. This team has to heal, and they have to do it properly. Can they do it? I think that they can. But let's hear from you guys. What are your thoughts about this series? What were your biggest takeaways from the Phillies-Cubs series, and how do you think that that'll impact the Phillies in a positive or even in a negative direction when they move forward and play against the Arizona Diamondbacks? We have one person that's in the audience. I don't know if Darth Pooh wants to speak, or if if he wants to talk about the Phillies, but I'll get to some of your text messages because I'm really curious about that. Text messages, I mean YouTube messages, because I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Let's see here. Okay, so, man, I gotta slow down. It's not that stupid. He needs to platoon with Cody. The Phillies made my Sunday and beat the Cubs, aka the Scrubs. That's funny. Kimbrel definitely gets himself in trouble still. He reminds me of Papelbon in terms of how he made his own problems on the field. Yeah, but, I mean, this is not what you expected out of Craig Kimbrel. Like, let's be honest with you. I think that a lot of us expected, like, a David Robertson or, like, a Corey Knebel type of pitcher from last year. Not somebody that could go out there in the ninth inning and get the job done, but somebody that could come in maybe to set up, and have that type of a role, or just eat up an inning. He's been, like, legitimately earning his spot as a closer. He's been firing pitches, and he's stepped up into his role, and he's like a big reason why your bullpen is actually as good as it is. So I can't knock him for that, because he's been put into a really tough spot, and he's older. He's not his old self. And he's doing things that I don't think anybody could have ever imagined him doing in a Phillies uniform. I'm sure that people have actually looked at the potential ceiling, kind of like what they did with Noah Syndergaard. When he came to the Phillies last year, they saw what he could be or what he could do. But then there was a reality type of a thing, and Noah Syndergaard was just a quality starter. He wasn't that ace that he once was, but that was the ceiling. Craig Kimbrell is at the ceiling right now. I'm all here for it. I really am. Yep, isn't this about the time he was about to come up on his anniversary of getting the job? Oh, you might have waken up. Larry says, yeah, I think so, actually. Larry said, I was ready to declare Thomson on the hot seat, but his moves today with Walker, bullpen, and the lineup worked perfectly. They did. I have to give Rob Thomson a lot of credit. And I've been really tough on Rob Thomson this season. I've loved what he's done. 2022's in the past. Even though he made some questionable moves in the World Series, I'm done with 2022. He was great overall throughout the season. This year, he got off to a very shaky start, but with what I saw today, and even yesterday, I can't deny, Aaron Nola pitched really well, and actually I thought made him look good, but I still thought that the decisions and that the trust, with the players actually worked really well. He's been standing his ground, and now everybody's taking a turn. Part of that goes on the manager, too. Let's see. What else do we got? Knew it was happening after that foul ball. He was in that dude's eyes. What was I talking about there? This team is still confounding me, Larry says. Yeah. It is, but, it's 162 games, and they haven't played up to par throughout most of the season, but now they're starting to get a groove, and I feel like that this could be different now. That swim by Kyle Schwarber, that wasn't just a grand slam. That was that to me is a climax of where this team is going to go now. I just have this gut feeling. Some of these games were just they won, because of the 8th inning, because what I'm saying. It was definitely a message. It was. Darth, it was definitely a message. It was. That was saying, I'm going to put this team on my back, but at the same time, follow my lead. Follow my lead, and we're going to go really far during this stretch. That's what I took it as. That thing was crushed. It went into the second deck, and I was thinking as soon as he hit that shot, I was thinking of Bryce Harper's look on his face last year when Kyle Schwarber hit that moonshot in San Diego that I think is still landing to this day. I don't think it's actually came back down. That's how far it was. Maybe move Turner down the lineup for a little bit. It's funny that you say that because I heard yesterday that somebody said that they should actually move Trey Turner up in the lineup, and I personally don't know what to do with Trey. Maybe you move him down, but also I don't know if Rob's going to do it because he has a little bit too much trust in his players. So if I'm being realistic, I just don't think that he's necessarily going to do that. But I also, if I were managing the team, I would tell him, it may be best for the team as of right now. It's not a permanent thing. You had a day off yesterday. His double looked really good at the end. I mean, that was nice. But he continues to swing at pitches that are out of the strike zone. There's something that has to be clicking with Trey Turner, and it's going to come. It's been very frustrating. It's been annoying. It's been sickening. This can't be how it's going to be. So, all right, we have a couple of callers. Let's see. Oh, man. All right, we got Snowman over here. Let's get Snowman to come on. All right, I want to hear what you guys have to say. We'll take a couple of calls, and then we'll call it a day. And Darth Pooh, if you want to come on too, you can totally do that. Snowman, what's up?
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Taking the night off, listening to my buddy JJ break down the Phils, and I can immediately tell you what's going on with Trey Turner. There's something that he's not doing that he did in Washington and partially in LA. And I can describe this problem for the Phillies in general, even though y'all took 2 or 3 from the Cubs, which makes my weekend. 2 out hits.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely
I
right.
talked about it when I did the White Sox game. You can't leave runners on base and expect your starting pitcher to break out of every jam.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And when you take a look at this pitching staff for the Phillies, like they just sent Bailey Falter down, and they're like running on a 4-man rotation, and guys are being utilized like almost every day out of that bullpen. And that's why position players, even though I'm not necessarily in total agreement of it, coming in for the 9th inning if it's a blowout, that's why that's happening, because, the relievers can only do so much, and they're not, like they have a role for a reason. But if the starters aren't going deep, if your 1-2 punch with Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler aren't going too deep, and you have guys that are injured, well, the offense has to help out.
Not only that, it kills your pitching staff.
Yeah, exactly.
It absolutely kills your pitching staff. Like I said, we're going the same thing with the White Sox right now because they are totally beat up. Even though we got Tim Anderson back in the lineup, this is where them letting Jose Abreu go to anchor that lineup is hurting them. Schwarber needs to anchor this lineup. Bryce Harper desperately needs to anchor this lineup. This is what got y'all in. This is what got you to November. Anchors in the lineup. But if you look at teams that have been there and done that, like Houston, like Washington back in 19, they had anchors all throughout their lineup. That is what's missing with Philadelphia right now. I've had a chance to look at the roster, and you can't. Well, I could say you can't expect them to hit their way out of the lineup, but in this case, especially with Trey Turner, and that was one of your big signings.
Yep.
You got to keep swinging. He's got to hit his way out of the lineup, out of the slump rather. He's got to hit it.
Whoops. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I did not mean for that. That was totally my fault. I thought you were done with your response. I gotta get better. That's gonna come with reps, like whatever. I totally have to start doing that. But yeah. No, Snowman, continue. That was totally my fault.
You gotta swing your way out. You gotta swing your way out of the slump.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like that's literally like what you have to do. And Snowman, I really appreciate you for coming on here. Just like what you said, though, like when it comes to Kyle Schwarber and when it comes to Bryce Harper, like those are the leaders of the team. And I really feel like that Kyle Schwarber's swing yesterday was just like a leadership type of a move. And that's just him basically saying that June is coming really soon and we all better be ready for it. So, but Trey definitely has to snap out of this. That's definitely for sure. And I do think he will. But I'm starting to become a little bit impatient with it, and I think that that's totally fine. I saw a tweet the other day by Corey Seidman from NBC Sports Philadelphia, and he said that Trey Turner's swinging or chasing percentage was at 31% throughout his entire career. But this year, coming into 2 days ago, it's at 41%. And Corey Seidman works for NBC Sports Philadelphia. He's done an awesome job. With NBC Sports Philly. It has to come down. And today it continued because he struck out twice. But I do think it'll come down. All right, let's take one more. Darth Pooh, if you want to come on, I'll invite you to speak. And if not, then we're gonna wrap things up. If I can speak. So, but Snowman, no, I want to thank you so much for coming on here. I really appreciate everything that you've been doing, with all your content that you've been putting out there and all that type of stuff. All right, Darth, that's totally fine. Please go subscribe to Snowman Multimedia, please. He's been putting up some really great content, and I love him. He's my brother, so, and he's welcomed me with open arms and has been very supportive of this channel. So, all right, that's going to wrap things up. I love you all so much. Once again, we hit the 400 mark tonight, and I just have to tell you all, more and more content is going to continue to come up. It's going to be a little bit slow this week, like towards the end of the week, because I am going to be going to Maryland, and I'm going to be filming a tournament up in Potomac, Maryland. So I'm not going to be doing as much Philly stuff towards the weekend, but we'll be back on tomorrow. We are going to be a little bit late, though, to the game. Hopefully we'll be back by the 6th inning or so. But we're just going to continue to put out content and, continue to grow this family. You guys are really the best. And I love you all so much. That's going to wrap things up here. Thank you all for tuning into another edition of the Phillies Post Series podcast. I will catch you all tomorrow night. Peace out.